everybody. Welcome to Club Ed for ukulele lesson number 3. I thought we would start with a few new chords today, and later on we'll do some fun finger picking. Let's start with the G chord today. The G chord is a little more difficult than some of the previous ones we've done. Requires 3 fingers at the same time. I normally start the G chord with my second finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. That allows me to put my other fingers down easily. Rather than putting, say, like the 1st finger down first, the 3rd finger, start by putting your 2nd finger down first. Again, on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And then I'm going to put my 1st finger down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. My 3rd finger will fall down in between on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and I'll strum all the strings. The G chord. We're going to be learning how to use the C chord and the D7 chord as well. You already know the C chord. In this song, we're going to be using our 2nd finger to make the transition a little bit easier. For instance, when I go from a G chord to a C chord, I'll keep my 2nd finger down and just slide it up 1 fret. Back to the G chord, slide it back down. So the 2nd finger is very pivotal to help you with the G to C switch. When I go from the G to the D7, I'm going to keep my 3rd finger down, slide it down to the 2nd fret, throw my 2nd finger over to the 4th string, 2nd fret, like so. And then when I go back to the G, again I will slide my 3rd finger back to the 3rd fret and place the other fingers as well. So these are an example of using a finger as a guide to help you keep from lifting your fingers all the time out into outer space, keeping them down so that you can use them efficiently. So let's start with a strum that we've already done, a thumb, strum, thumb, strum. Well, I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see. It rained all night the day I left, the weather it was dry. The sun so hot I froze to death, Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me, 'cause I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Or a ukulele, whatever the case may be. So let's do that real slow. We're going to start with the G chord. Again, start with your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string and let the others fall down. 2, 2, 3. Switch to the D7, and we're just going to slide that finger down and play the 4th string back to the G. D7, G. So it'll be da 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 G G G G G G D G G to a D7, back to G once more, another G, back to D7 and back to G. That repeats. Da da do 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 do. Birds are singing. We're going to go to the C, slide your 2nd finger up. Oh, Susanna, back to G, and a D7, back to G once more, do do do, G, D7, and with G. So practice that really slow. You might want to go much slower than that to get a hang on. Again, we'll have the lyrics and the chords on the screen so you can do a screen capture and print them up. Now, some of the things that you can do to dress those up, and I'm just going to touch on these briefly before I move on. We're going to look at another song. This one is in 3/4 time, so it'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So thumb, strum, strum, thumb, strum, strum. And we can use Amazing Grace. Let's try Amazing Grace with this. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Okay, so very slowly, it starts with a G. G, G, G to a C, back to G. D7. See how I'm keeping my fingers down? Gosh, it looks easy. It's not. It will become easy though. Guaranteed. Another song you can use that with is On Top of Old Smokey. Again, that will be with a 3/4 strum as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Da da ba da see me, all covered with G. I lost my D7 when somebody G. That sounds weird, doesn't it? On top of Old Smokey, all covered with snow. I lost my true lover for courting too slow. I just added my little finger to the 3rd fret of the 1st string on the G chord with that little embellishment on the end. We hear that a lot. Okay, so again, the G chord will be a little difficult at first, but if you keep your fingers down and don't let them lift up every time you switch, you're going to have a tendency to do that. Again, all beginners have a tough time having their switches, rhythmically correct. There's usually a giant hole in between when you switch your fingers. That's normal, don't worry about it. With practice, they'll all fall in place. Okay, now we're going to do a little flamenco, a little Spanish music. This is a very old piece. It's based on the Spanish malagueña, which is a flamenco dance form. We're going to start with an A chord. Let me play this through once for you first. Exercise 1 goes like this. We'll start with our A chord, and with your thumb you'll play the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string consecutively. Then you're going to pick those 2 fingers up, move them each over 1 string, and play 3, 2, 1. Okay, exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 will vary a little bit. It'll start out with the same A chord. You'll shift those over, and then after you play the first 2 notes, you lift your 1st finger, play the 2nd string open, back to the 3rd string 2nd fret, open, 3rd fret of the 4th string, back to your A. So I'll be writing this out in tab for you. Let's talk about how to read tabs. Tab, you'll see 4 lines. The lowest line will be the string that's closest to you, the 4th string. The highest string is the string that's furthest away from you, the 1st string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're laying on top of each other, and once you get used to this, it's a very quick way to figure out where you're putting your fingers. So you'll see numbers on the lines. The numbers on the lines indicate the fret of the string that you're going to be playing. It's not necessarily telling you what finger to use, okay? We don't want to confuse you too much just yet. For all intents and purposes, for right now, whatever fret you're playing, say for instance if you're using the 2nd fret, you use your 2nd finger. 1st finger covers the 1st fret, 2nd finger, 3rd finger covers the 3rd fret. So as I start this out, I've got my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, the bottom string, okay? Then you'll see a 1 on the 3rd string, and that stands for the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And then the 2nd string with an O on it, which stands for open. So I've got 2, 1, O, 2, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 2. But you'll see that those moved up to a higher set of strings. So that's how to read tab. It's a little confusing at first. You'll get used to it. Very old method of writing music. Centuries old. Just like this song and me. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm going to start with my A chord, with my thumb playing the 4th string, 2nd fret, my thumb playing the 3rd string, 1st fret, my thumb playing the 2nd string open. I'm going to pick those up and play the 2nd fret of the 3rd string with my thumb, the 1st fret of the 2nd string with my 1st finger. Then I'm going to lift my 1st finger and play the 2nd string open. Back to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 3rd string open, 3rd finger goes to the 4th string, 3rd fret. So I've got this. Very slowly it will be. Okay, now the really cool part, after we've mastered that with your thumb on your right hand, after each one of those notes, you're going to see the 1st string open with a 0 on it, okay, which stands for open again. I'm going to play the 4th string. My index finger will pluck toward me the 1st string. One of the other things that we can do is just slide this shape, the A shape, up and down the neck. I can start with it at the 1st fret for my A, then slide it up 1 fret. If I want to, I can slide it up to my 2nd finger on the 5th fret. For those, you can just use a down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Just wiggle your 1st finger in that tickle that we talked about in the 1st lesson. Okay, so there you have a malagueña. You learn how to play a little flamenco. Take it really slow if you do everything in order, in the order of the exercises. I don't think you'll have any problem. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll show off for your friends. Okay, well, I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you next week for lesson number 4.